Alright, let's go. Kia ora everyone, welcome to Haka Time Rugby. My name's Zach, I love rugby. We have a special guest today, former under-10s Royal Knights try scoring record holder, Dens. We're turning back the clock on that one.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk to you about our predictions for the Rugby World Cup. We're going to go through each of the pools, work out who we think is going to win, and then try and come up with an overall winner. So I think let's get straight into it. Pool A. Ireland, Scotland, Japan, Russia, Samoa. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
Oh, they put all the fighters in one pool for this one, these fellas.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a piece of this this World Cup, and especially these blokes. Clear entries. Ireland's going through for sure.
Yeah.
You got a big fight between Samoa and Japan. Honestly, think Japan's going through.
Big call.
It's a huge call.
That's a big call.
Huge call. But they're the host team. They've got to bring some game to the nation.
Yeah.
I reckon they're going to want more.
I mean, on form, you look at these teams and you think, okay, well, there's Ireland, obviously now ranked #1 in the world. So they've got to be a big chance. They've been playing a bit mixed lately, but let's say that they go through as the top qualifier. So that's fine.
Yeah.
The next, you've got to look at the other teams. So Scotland would be the favourite to go through, but there's a few little intangibles here. You've got Japan, host nation. Now, we saw them lift in the last World Cup. They're now in a home World Cup. How is that going to affect them? I think it's going to, lift them up even bigger, this one. Then you've got Samoa. Now, the thing about Samoa is they're in a very, very difficult pool. So they may not win the pool, but they're definitely going to rough a few teams up.
Yeah.
And if you're going into a big match after playing Team Samoa, man, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. So I just think rankings is one thing, form is another thing, but there's a few intangibles you got to consider here. And for that reason, I'm picking Japan as well.
Oh, I wouldn't say no to Samoa. I'd like Samoa to go through, to be honest. I love that team. The boys work hard. They give up a lot of their club stuff to play for their country. And man, I'm all about that. So I hope they go through. But I just think Japan's going to have them.
So I think we agree on that one. Ireland and Japan go through from Pool A. Pool B, let's check this one out.
Yep.
We got New Zealand, South Africa, Italy, Namibia, and Canada. What do you think of this one, man?
I am biased when it comes to New Zealand. So New Zealand's making the semis. We're the strongest team. We're the strongest team in the World Cup.
Big call.
Starting.
Okay. Pool B. Now there's two pretty clear favourites in this one.
Yeah.
We got New Zealand, South Africa, Namibia, Canada, Italy in the pool. What do you think, man? What do you think on this one?
Oh, look, Saffers and New Zealand are going to go away at this World Cup. I think New Zealand and Saffers are making it out, for sure. It's a shame that we've got the younger developing squads coming through in the same pool. It would have been nice to have seen them in a pool where they could all fight for it.
That's probably one of the things about World Rugby at the moment is there is a bit of a gap between the best teams and the rest teams.
Yeah.
So it plays out this way. This is how it goes. But I think what it shows in this one is there's two clear favourites. Who's on top?
Look, early in the pools, it doesn't really matter. As long as New Zealand makes it out, I'm fine. But more than likely, we're going to beat South Africa in the pools. If we don't, then we're still going to make it out and probably end up playing in the semis anyway.
Yep. So you're saying New Zealand first, South Africa second?
Yep.
Out of that pool?
New Zealand first, South Africa second.
I probably agree. I think that first game, next Saturday, to kick off the campaign is going to be huge.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it could go either way. I think the way South Africa's been playing, you look at the last 3 games, All Blacks South Africa have played.
Yeah.
South Africa won by 2, All Blacks won by 2, and then we had a draw. So it's tight, man, and we're back to that old school rivalry, which I'm loving to see. No one wants to see that 57-0 score that we put on the last time. So it's back to tight. I still think New Zealand probably gets the edge in this one. It could go either way, but let's say New Zealand. So we probably agree on that one too. New Zealand 1, South Africa 2.
It's going to be interesting to see Faf de Kleur and on our flanks, on our props. It's going to be, because it's going to test them a lot. This is probably his It's his first World Cup, eh?
Yeah, I think it
It's
is.
his first World Cup. He's going to go up against some big men, like New Zealand's big men, all at once.
Nah, he's definitely my favourite South African player.
Oh,
Factor Clerk, you're the man. Okay, Pool C. Let's check this one out. England, France, Argentina, USA, and Tonga. What are your thoughts, man? What do you think?
Oh, everyone's going to get roughed up in this pool too. Tonga going to be a really physical game. There's three contenders: Argentina, France, England.
Yep.
They're going to be the guys that go through. Which one? Oh, yeah, definitely England. Definitely England. England's going through. It's going to be a big fight for Argentina and France, but I think Argentina may play the territory game. They're really good at it, and just they might pip France. It goes either way anyway. Like with France and Argentina, it's going to be a really, really close fight.
Yep. So looking at this one, I mean, England coming in with the best form of these teams, so my pick has to go first place England. The other interesting thing is I've heard a number of World Cup winners say these words: you have to feel a bit of pain before you can come out and win a World Cup. And the English team, after not getting out of the pool play in the last World Cup, they'll be feeling that pain, man. That's a home World Cup you didn't get out of the quarters, out of your pool. That's a lot of pain. So I think they'll bring that, and I think they'll be one of the strongest teams here for sure. Then we got France and Argentina. I mean, I'm a little bit biased on this one, more towards the Southern Hemisphere players and teams. But I think there's a couple of things here. One, France are traditionally quite inconsistent. They're rocks or diamonds. They can be world beaters one day, we've seen it, and then they can get hammered the next day. We've seen it as well. Argentina is a bit flying under the radar. I mean, they play in the Rugby Championship, and that's tough competition. So, you know, there's a few times their performances haven't looked that great. Their results definitely don't look great, but they're actually a better team than they show in their results. So this one's going to be real close. I'm going to say Argentina. So, who do you pick?
Argentina.
All right, we agree on that one too. Last pool before we get into the quarters, Pool D. We got Australia, we got Wales, we got Georgia, Fiji, Uruguay. What do you think?
I'm hoping Fiji gets out of it. I want Fiji out of the pool. We've seen them come through in some tough games. I hope they actually pip Wales.
Ooh.
But I hope they do.
Can they though?
Yeah, can they though? Look, if they play a backs game, yeah, they can get them.
I can't see it myself. In this one, Wales, so they were number 1 in the world 2 weeks ago, ranked number 1 in the world. We know that doesn't mean much. They're coming off the back of a pretty good Six Nations season, but recent form's been pretty average, man. So they went down twice to Ireland last couple of weeks. Yeah. What's that going to do for their prep? You know, you're coming into a World Cup on the back of 2 losses. You were previously ranked as one of the favourites of this tournament. They'll be going in thinking this is their best chance. I think that pressure's going to get to them a little bit. I think that pressure might cut deep. We've seen it in New Zealand what that pressure can do. So my thoughts on this one, I'm going to say we see an upset in Australia versus Wales. I think Australia is going to come in and they just have this habit of peaking on the big games, peaking in the big tournaments. So
well, that's the thing about Aussie. They turn up game time.
Yeah,
this is a game. It's a proper game. So yeah, they're gonna take the pool, I reckon, and they're gonna. I think they're gonna sit nasty in the semi somewhere with and I think they'll meet England. So they're definitely getting out of the pool. Australia and Wales, although I'd like Fiji to get in there.
Yep. I think this is another one where you've got a couple of teams that can rough teams up in Georgia and Fiji. So anything can happen, but yeah, I'd say Australia 1, Wales 2. What do you think?
Yeah.
Australia 1, Wales 2. So I've just put up who we have predicted to win each of the pools. So you can see here, quick recap: Ireland, Japan, Pool A; New Zealand, South Africa, Pool B; England, Argentina, Pool C; Australia, Wales, Pool D. Game number 1, let's talk about this: Ireland, South Africa. Who you got?
Ooh, it's a nasty game. I just think South is going to pull it.
Yeah,
they're going to pull it. They're ready. For my personal choice, I think they're going to run second. They're running second. Favourite for me. New Zealand's running, well, obviously first. And having South Africa going against Ireland. Look, Ireland are the same as France, rocks or diamonds. If they're wrong, they'll really bring it to South Africa. But South Africa's, they hurt from the last World Cup, losing to Japan. They're going to want some redemption, and I think they're going to take it.
I would agree. I think this one might be a step too far for an Irish team that's been under a lot of pressure. I think their preparation has been mixed. They got smashed by England. They came back with 2 good games against Wales. While that's a confidence booster, I think this one is going to be just a bridge too far.
Yeah.
South Africa's coming in red hot. They just look very, very hard to beat. Very well balanced across the park. Strong forwards, fast backs.
Absolutely.
Strong halfback, Faf de Klerk. But too good. Too good for me.
Yeah, too good.
All right, next one. New Zealand, Japan. I'll tell you what, man. First thing, if this happens, I'm coming. I'm coming to Japan. This one would go off. New Zealand versus Japan. Who wins it?
You have to keep in mind, New Zealand's, they're the legends of rugby to the Japanese, so they're going to pay us the utmost respect.
Oh man, just imagine the crowd, imagine the atmosphere.
It's just going to be crazy stuff. So I think New Zealand's just out of reach, way too far out of reach for Japan. Japan's going to, they're going to throw everything at it, but it's not a struggling Saffers team from the last World Cup.
Oh man, It's
their heroes. They're playing their heroes.
I've had a thought in my mind about this one. I would love to see, a tight contest, one that the Japanese people can be proud of, up against the All Blacks. But All Blacks should be too good. So
I think they will be proud of their team. The Japanese should be proud of their team. They're hosting the World Cup. They get to play their legends. Everyone wins across the board, even if they lose by a large margin.
Rugby's the winner. Rugby's the winner.
Rugby's the winner. Ramens are going to get eaten. Everyone's all over sushi.
All right.
Easy.
Next one. England versus Wales.
Well, we've seen what happens in the Six Nations. It doesn't quite happen when a game counts. So I think Wales are going to fall short of England. To be honest, England are just going to. They want their World Cup. They want a decent competition. They want their final.
I think they're one as well, coming in just too strong. Yeah. I mean, they're some of their ball runners are just. They've probably got some of the best ball runners in the game at the moment. I mean, Manu Tuilangi. Who's the number 8? Vunipola. They've got some really destructive ball runners. They've got great mix across the park. They've got a world-class first 5 in Owen Farrell, so I just think they do this one and they do it quite easily, to be honest. And
they can become really nasty and shifting momentum. So they're gonna stop the game. They're gonna make it a fight, a fight to keep momentum. That's a perfect England game.
So let's get to the next one: Australia, Argentina. Oh my God.
Oh no. Oh no, I don't know. That's going to be a fight. I think it's going to come down to who wants it the most. Whoever wants it the most. Argentina, they're hungry for improvement and advancing in the World Cup, so they're going to bring some game. Australia, they've been a little bit hit and miss, but they're starting to get form back, and coming this late into a World Cup, they're going to be ready. So I think, look, it's going to be a close game, but Australia will take it.
Yeah, I mean, Australia's definitely had the wood over the Argentinians lately. I do think that this, tournament's a tournament, so, it depends on how it goes on the day. It depends on the lead up as well, how teams are performing. It depends on when you're peaking. In this one, I think both Australia and Argentina are going to be peaking. They'll come in confident, but Australia's probably got the wood over them. And, one of the players that I'm looking to see in this World Cup is Marika Koroibete, the winger, Fijian fly. Used to play for the Melbourne Storm. He's a killer. That dude is a gun. So I reckon he's going to be one of the stars of the World Cup. I think this is a game that's perfect for him. He would, he's going to do pretty well here, and I think Australia wins this game.
I think Pocock's going to be quite damaging too.
If he can stay out of injury, if he can stay injury free.
If Pocock can stay in, Australia are going to do some pretty good things on him. He's a great captain, great player.
Great player. Okay, moving on. Semi-final time. Here are the games, man. New Zealand versus England, South Africa, Australia.
Alright, let's go. New Zealand's coming off the back of a well-rested game. They're going to run through their combinations through Japan. You know, they're going to figure stuff out. And
yeah, there's a negative side to that though.
There's
sometimes you can come in a little underdone.
There is a
and it's a big step up from a less intense game to a big intensity game.
But New Zealand culture of rugby, it's not likely for that to happen to us. We're very, very versed in this. So we treat a game for what it is once we get to it. And so I think New Zealand's going to come off on top, probably by a large margin.
Ooh, big one. Yeah, New Zealand's got a habit of, they focus a lot on preparation and peaking at the right time. So last World Cup, we peaked for that quarterfinal against France, blew them off the park. 2011, we peaked for that semi-final against Australia, blew them off the park. I think you're right, man. I think this is one game the All Blacks will target to be well prepared for, to execute on the day. So we could see a very, very All Black squad in this game. And from an England perspective, they've got a really unlucky draw.
Yeah.
Like if you think about their draw, they have to go through, from match to match to match, they go through France, Argentina. Then they have to play a quarter-final against, who do we have, Wales. And then they have to play a semi-final against New Zealand.
Yeah.
To win a World Cup, they've got 5 Tier 1 nations in a row. So I think they're going to come into New Zealand a little bit...
overcooked.
Yeah, I think so.
They're going to be tired.
Yeah, and I think this could be one... Yeah, we should win. I think New Zealand wins this one.
Yep.
Next one, South Africa, Australia.
Oh, South Africa's going to be too strong.
Yep.
They're just going to be too strong. Australia's just not going to have enough in the tank. They might have a few injuries along the way, but South Africa's going to come in pretty strong. This World Cup, it was clear from the pool. You know, the pool's going to be tough to get out of for the teams in it. And we've got New Zealand going to South Africa, so the pace is going to be set real early in the competition for New Zealand and South Africa, playing against each other in the pool. They're going to know what to expect, so they've played against New Zealand already. They're going to have their formula as well. So they're just going to be ready, sharp.
So you call this one Australia versus South Africa, you call South Africa?
I call South Africa.
Okay, you know what that means. New Zealand versus South Africa final. So we go through from first game in pool play, New Zealand, South Africa, to a final, New Zealand, South Africa. Talk about the final, man. What does this occasion mean, and who comes out on top?
Saffers have a redemption game to play. They have a redemption for the last World Cup. Not to take away from Japanese. The Japanese were hungry. They kept digging in.
So you think they hurt from that last 2011
that
game?
has got to hurt. Yeah, one of the rugby giants got taken down.
Just that proud rugby nation, you know.
Proud rugby nation got taken down, and it's time for them to get something back. So they're going to bring their A game to New Zealand. They're already going to know what to expect.
Let's say, hey, who wins?
Oh, who wins? It's going to be New Zealand. New Zealand.
Oh yeah. Tough one. I mean, if I was a betting man, I would not put any money on this game.
No.
I just don't think I think it's too close to call. I think, and it's so far out as well, it's very hard to predict. I mean, a lot can happen during a tournament. I think one thing New Zealand's learned in the last 2 World Cups, though, is it's a combination of preparation, bench, and good luck. That's what wins World Cups, man. It's just preparation, luck I think plays a big part, and depth/bench.
Yeah, depth.
One thing I'll say about this New Zealand team is it's certainly got the least depth of the last 2-3 World Cup teams.
Yeah, it does.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we get exposed a little bit from a depth perspective in the final.
I think we're going to get exposed more in the pool than we will in the final. So we're going to take a lot from the first game too. And then come to the final, whoever we may play against, we're just going to be ready. New Zealand's going to be ready. South Africa's going to go the same way, especially leaving the same pool, and they'll probably save it. So New Zealand get the better of the 2 runs out of both teams. Playing Japan and we're playing Japan in the quarters. Meeting England in the semis, and then South Africa in the final. We've got that depth to last it. We've got the endurance. The team has the endurance to last it. We've got 11 Crusaders, just had to say that. 11 Crusaders, and I think it's not going to be a runaway game. It's going to be a tight a tight game.
This could be one of the great games.
Yeah.
This could be remembered as one of the great games. So, final thoughts, final pick. You got.
All right, the immovable force. No, the immovable object, the unstoppable force.
Yeah.
New Zealand being the immovable object, and I think the unmovable object is gonna weather the storm, take out South Africa just under 7 points.
I'll be honest, if I was from anywhere else in the world, I would pick South Africa in this match, but I'm from New Zealand. That's it, I picked New Zealand. I picked New Zealand. Well, that's our thoughts anyway, that's our predictions. I think we predicted a few upsets along the way, something a little bit different than most other prediction videos I've heard. I mean, there's a lot of factors to take into account here, and it's hard to pick a winner. I think we'll probably look back at this at the end of the tournament and go, what the hell were we thinking? But at the end of the day, we've made our call. It's New Zealand to go 3 in a row and win the World Cup.
And we're a week out. Don't get hurt about your country not getting...
Yeah, don't get butt hurt.
Don't do that. Let's not do that. It's at the end of the day, rugby is the winner.
It's just two people's opinions.
Yeah. Japan is hosting. It's going to be one of the most extravagant World Cups ever.
Well, that's the thing, man. Regardless of who wins, it's going to be such a great tournament. So, rugby is the winner on the day.
Game of two halves.
We are the winners on the day.
The 1%ers.
Yeah.
It's the 1%ers.
And it's all about the boys, right? the boys.
Yep.
But that's it. That's our predictions. We'll see you again soon.
Did you think this through?
I like just winging it. We're just here to wing it. Sensational.
Quality.